Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
Bahamas rushes to pass anti-trafficking legislation to comply with international standards. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Thursday, March 2nd. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. Lawmakers in the Bahamas are debating a new bill to tackle trafficking in persons, and they have just under a month to get it through the House. Parliament must pass the legislation by the end of this month to meet international standards. We get more in this report from ZNS News in Nassau.
Leading debate was Foreign Affairs and Immigration Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, who noted that trafficking in persons is a form of modern-day slavery. He says in some cases, men, women, and children are brought to the country, their documents withheld, they're underpaid, and not allowed to communicate with friends and family.
First blush, people would simply say, oh, that doesn't happen in the Bahamas. But you know, with large labor forces sometimes coming from foreign countries, it is clearly possible for this to exist and happen right in front of our faces. We had to say during the time the construction of Bahama, we had to indicate to their employers that one of the things you cannot do is to hold somebody's passport or work permit. That has to remain in their possession, because people ought to be free to move, to leave, to enter, and not feel in any sense that they have an obligation to go back to their employer to get a document which shows that they have a right to live in the Bahamas. And thankfully that was corrected.
Contributing to the debate was Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, who says many foreign females who work here are victims of this crime.
Enforcement point of view, and for all of us that to become sensitized to this phenomenon of trafficking in persons, because a number of these persons, these dancers, may be just there against their will. And of course, a lot, as I indicated, they are preyed on because of their vulnerable status. They are preyed on because of they are in that demographic of our existence that is seeking and hoping for a better life very often. And they're lured into acts that they very likely would not have become a part of.
An assistant superintendent of police in Guyana has found himself on the wrong side of the law. The senior lawman is among officers who were arrested after allegedly trying to smuggle a high-powered weapon out of police headquarters. Travis Chase of HGP TV News has the details.
Acting Police Commissioner David Ramnarine Wednesday confirmed the arrest of a policeman attached to the Tactical Service Unit of the Ghana Police Force after he attempted to smuggle an AK-47 assault rifle out of Ivleri. Nightly News was informed Wednesday that the AK-47 weapon, which is being checked to determine whether it is the property of the police force, was discovered hidden in a car just as the driver was about to leave the compound Wednesday morning. Reportedly, the officer who's attached to the A section of TSU worked the night shift and is responsible for TSU ranks who would have to uplift weapons while on duty. As his own colleagues continue to grill him, they are finding out that the rank had allowed the civilian vehicle in which the weapon was found to enter the compound without being searched. But that vehicle attracted the attention of all the police ranks after it was discovered parked in the compound for several hours. The rank was spotted taking what appeared to have been the weapon wrapped neatly to the vehicle, and as the driver was about to leave the compound, the car was stopped and searched. Acting Commissioner Ramnarine, while confirming that the weapon is indeed an AK-47, told Nightly News, quote, "We are very happy that we have been able to retrieve the weapon before it had ended up in the hands of criminal elements. The driver of the motor car and the TSU rank remain under arrest."
St. Lucia's opposition leader is warning of the possibility of street protests over a controversial racetrack project slated for the south of the island. At a news conference on Thursday, St. Lucia Labour Party leader Philip Pear said the government needs to provide more details about the $2.6 billion project. He called on the administration to dialogue with St. Lucians on what he described as unacceptable sections of the agreement, and he warned that if government fails to do so, the opposition reserves the right to bring protests to the streets. Pear told reporters that the SLP has been informed that there will be a formal signing ceremony for the project on March 8, and preliminary works have already started at Bussy-Jou in Vieux-Fort. But he says government must answer several questions relating to the project, including whether the land for the racetrack will be leased at $1 for 99 years, whether an environmental impact assessment has been completed, and if the racetrack has received approval from the Development Control Authority. New chairman of the Regional Steering Committee on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals unveiled a 5-year regional plan for their achievement on Wednesday. Bruno Pouzat of the United Nations Regional Coordinator told a meeting in Belize that there are a number of areas in which the countries of the region can collaborate, and he said the sustainable goals are more ambitious than the previous set of Millennium Development Goals.
Not only are they more ambitious individually, but they're more closely connected together, which is a little overwhelming for any country of the planet. The question is, where do you start? So a lot of our work has been to identify areas where we, the UN, could offer decisive support that would help the countries across the region make clear steps forward on this agenda.
Pouzat said the just concluded two-day meeting in Belize has come up with 4 priority areas in which they can work along with government and offer tangible support toward the achievement of these goals. And among these are priority areas, growth and development.
Clearly a priority for all the countries in the region. Growth has been stagnant in many of the countries of the Caribbean. They're all looking for a new development model that will take them into the 21st century. The second area is safety and security for all of the citizens. And the feeling that in many countries crime is out of control and that some segments of society are being left behind, suffering both from various deprivations but also attacks against their human rights as communities such as the minorities.
The other 2 areas are health and sustainable and resilient development. Grenada is set to renew its insurance coverage with the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility, CRIF. This announcement comes as CRIF representatives are in Grenada conducting a 3-day conference on the opportunities provided by the facility. CRIF is a not-for-profit risk pool in a facility owned, operated and registered in the Caribbean for Caribbean governments, and it offers insurance designed to limit the financial impact of catastrophic natural disasters on Caribbean governments by quickly providing short-term liquidity when a policy is triggered. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance and Energy, Kim Frederick, told the meeting that the new policy for Grenada must be in harmony with the country's debt sustainability program.
Because of its existence, the governments of Haiti, Dominica, and others would have benefited during the time of need, and within quick time, I must add, which is within 14 days of the event. Soon, Grenada would be renewing its policy. The last renewal, which was done last year, was almost $3 million. And as you are aware, we do have budget constraints. When the time comes around for that renewal, which is not too far from now, we'll be looking forward to using your expertise so as to make an informed decision on the right coverage for Grenada.
Since the inception of CREF, 22 payouts have been made to 10 member countries, totaling approximately US $69 million. Representative for CREF, Gina Phillip, said over the next 2 days, Ministry of Finance officials will be trained in understanding parametric policies and its relationship with fiscal and economic policy.
Since 2007, CRIF has been providing tropical cyclone or hurricane and earthquake coverage, and in 2013 we started offering excess rainfall coverage, and Grenada has all three types of policies. We are happy to announce that in 2015 we expanded to include Central America, so CRIF now has one member country from Central America in Nicaragua, while Belize has always been a member that's considered a CARICOM country, as you would imagine, not part of Central America.
CREF policy.
Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, a missionary arrested for sex crimes against girls at a Haitian orphanage. Stay with us. There's more news after the break.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the color of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
The Anthony and Sabga Caribbean Awards for Excellence invites nominations for its next awards cycle in the categories Arts and Letters, Science and Technology, Public and Civic Contributions, and Entrepreneurship. Join the growing college of distinguished laureates from throughout the region we've honored in the last decade. Visit www.answercaribbeanawards.com for forms and instructions. Nominations close on March 31st.
The American owner of a missionary orphanage in Haiti has been arrested for allegedly sexually abusing the children in his care. 35-year-old Daniel Pai volunteered at Haitian orphanages for years with his wife before they started their own in the southern coastal city of Jacmel, where they cared for 22 children. The Miami Herald reports that Pai has been arrested and charged with child sex tourism. Prosecutors accuse him of molesting 3 girls in his care. It is not the first time that Pai has been in trouble with the law in Port-au-Prince. He was previously jailed for 5 months, first on no charges, then for possessing illegal documents. He was freed later after lawyers, missionary friends, and U.S. Haitian officials intervened on his behalf. Police in Trinidad and Tobago are reporting no cases of sexual assault against women this carnival. It was particularly significant as one woman was killed last year after being assaulted. Observers believe that this year, a campaign from one carnival band and one calypso contributed to the heightened awareness of violence against women during the 2 days of revelry. We get more from Kishan Haynes of TV6 News.
The song became a rallying cry for women against sexual assault. Last Ash Wednesday, the country awoke to news of a murdered Japanese national, Asami Nagakia. The plight of women in Trinidad and Tobago, especially during the carnival season, has been covered on Al Jazeera, the Washington Post, and a slew of other media outlets recently. Mass band Lost Tribe turned their band into a platform for commentary with Say Your Piece on Carnival Monday. The heightened awareness seemed to have paid off.
There wasn't one single reported incident in relation to any of that type of offenses against our female folks.
The police, on the other hand, didn't have such a safe carnival season. The TTPS reported 2 serious incidents against their officers. One to an off-duty officer during Juve celebrations near Sagicor building in Port of Spain, and the second was an assault against 2 officers in Tobago who tried to remove patrons from a Juve band.
The police service would not take lightly. That act is one that we want to condemn, and we want to indicate that those sort of behavior would not in any way be tolerated.
A TTPS officer, Sherwin Carlton Cedeno, died in a fatal accident along the Solomon-Hotroy Highway on Monday morning. It was one of 2 fatal accidents over the carnival celebrations. In all, there were 15 serious reported crimes, including 1 homicide.
The other offenses recorded include 3 woundings, 3 shootings with intent, 3 larceny from the person, 3 robberies with violence, 1 assault with intent to rob, and a larceny motor vehicle.
There were 24 serious incidents reported last year. In all, there were 182 arrests, 112 of whom were charged. The charges range from possession of weapons, robbery, larceny, assault, and driving under the influence.
And as we heard earlier, veteran Calypsonian Calypso Rose's offering this year, Leave Me Alone, contributed to a safer carnival for women in the Twin Island Republic. And she is being honored for her contribution to the art form and her recent international achievement. During Thursday's post-cabinet media briefing, Minister of Community Development, Culture and the Arts, Dr. Nylan Gadsby-Dolly, said Calypso Rose would receive a diplomatic passport and, with her permission, an aircraft in the Caribbean Airlines fleet will be named after her. 2 weeks ago, the veteran Calypsonian won the World Album of the Year at the Victoire de la Musique Awards in France. The award is considered the frequent equivalent of a Grammy Award. Calypso Rose also became the first artist from Trinidad and Tobago to have an album go gold. Last year, she was also awarded the 2016 Artist Award by the World Music Expo. As countries prepare to celebrate World Women's Day, that's International Women's Day on March 8th, Grenada's Minister of State in the Ministry of Human Resource, Simon Steele, says the country has made great strides in recognizing the equal rights of women.
That one of the focus areas is in the area of leadership, where Grenada has more women, both in cabinet and in parliament, than I believe any time in our history, certainly since independence. We also have a female Governor General, our head of state. When we look at the construct of the public service government, it's led by a female cabinet secretary, and the majority of our permanent secretaries are women. So I think Grenada is certainly trying to lead the way in the area of demonstrating gender equality.
In 2015, world leaders adopted the Sustainable Development Goals, placing gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls at the heart of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Achievement of the goals include ending poverty, promoting inclusive and sustainable economic growth, reducing inequalities within and between countries, achieving gender equality, and empowerment of all women and girls, resting upon unlocking the full potential of women in the world of work. Measures that are key to ensuring women's economic empowerment in the changing world of work must include bridging the gender pay gap, which stands at 24% globally.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, the Windies head coach aiming to see the regional side qualify for another World Cup. Stay with us. Sport is next.
Round Hay Pharmacy now has 2 locations to fill your prescriptions promptly and efficiently. Our branch at One Accord Plaza is open daily, including Sundays and bank holidays. Also, check out our new drive-through location at Warren's Healthcare Complex in Michael, the first and only drive-through pharmacy in Barbados. For more information, call Round Hay One Accord Plaza at 421-7863 and our new drive-through branch at Warren's in Michael at 424-5574.
Come play at the 50th edition of Antigua Sailing Week. Not a sailor? Not a problem. Chase the race from the best beach locations and party in the ocean. On our beaches, a different one each day. Take a drink, take another. Hula, play, dance in the sand. Dance to reggae, to soca, to the beat of your own drum under the moonlight. 7 beach days and party nights. Come play at the 50th edition of Antigua Sailing Week.
April 29th to May 7th, 2017.
Are you up for the challenge?
The Jonkonu's fife, the rhythm of the drum, the strum of the pan, the lilt of the voice from island to mainland. All pigments and tones, old and young, his and hers, all we are one. You, we, me. This is UE TV.
The head coach of the West Indies cricket team says he wants to see the regional side qualify for another World Cup. Stuart Law, who was recently appointed to the post, says that's his main aim right now and he wants to develop a good work ethic within the team.
The main aim is to qualify for the next World Cup, 50-over World Cup, so these one-day games are extremely important to us. So that's our main focus really at this stage. I know we've got Pakistan coming for T20s and tests and one-days as well. But the one-day series is probably, will take paramount importance. But for me, it's just about, seeing how it all operates, seeing how to learn the different cultures from different islands, how to address people, how to get the best out of the young kids. That's probably the most important thing for me now. I'm not going to focus on, becoming number one in the world at this stage. I'm focusing on building a culture, building a work ethic in the dressing room that will put the little bricks in place so they can become the best they can be.
Law was speaking ahead of the 3-match one-day international series against England, which starts on Friday in Antigua. The West Indies would be forced to enter a 10-team qualifying tournament set for next year March in order to secure one of the 2 non-automatic spots at the World Cup. Already the regional side has seen their lowly rankings cost them dearly, missing out on a spot at the year's Champions Trophy in England, as only the top 8 sides in the rankings qualified. Law said having experienced that setback, it was imperative the Windies players pour all their energies into reaching the marquee ICC limited overs showpiece.
Oh, it always is, it's a great little tournament, the Champions Trophy and Mini World Cup, and to not be there probably, isn't what you want to be. You want to be in every one of those tournaments, but it is what it is. We've just got to make sure that we've got our head screwed on for the one-day tournaments we play in the next recent upcoming tours, and if we can win those, get through to qualify for that World Cup. That's probably the bigger one to worry about.
England's Timal Mills, who recently became the most expensive specialist bowler in Indian Premier League history, is one of 253 players entered for the 2017 Caribbean Premier League draft scheduled to be staged in Barbados on March 10. The 24-year-old left-arm seamer will be joined by a host of international stars for the event, with a record 46 players from Pakistan and 28 from Australia set for the auction. Players from South Africa, Sri Lanka, New Zealand and Bangladesh have also been entered, and CPL's Director of International Cricket, Tom Moody, said the numbers augur well for the tournament. Only last week, Mills was picked up in in the IPL draft by Royal Challengers Bangalore for £1.4 million. He made his England debut last July and remains a T20 specialist after being diagnosed with a degenerative back injury 2 years ago. Mills is currently playing for Quetta Gladiators in the Pakistan Super League. Meanwhile, West Indies players Darren Sammy and Marlon Samuels have confirmed their participation for the Pakistan Super League final once their side Peshawar Zalmi qualifies for the championship game. Sammy, who captains Zalmi, and Samuels, who also represents the franchise, have reportedly told management of their availability despite the exodus of foreign players due to security concerns surrounding the game set to be staged on Sunday in Lahore. Zalmi takes on Chris Gale and Kieron Pollard's Karachi Kings in Friday's second qualifier for the chance to face Quetta Gladiators, the final set to be held in the violence-plagued Pakistani city. Neither Gale nor Pollard is expected to play if Kings advance, with Sri Lankan teammate Mahela Jawardena also set to be unavailable. Over to football now. Team Bahamas will kick off their campaign for top honours in the Beach Soccer World Cup when they take on Switzerland. This was announced at Tuesday's draw for the tournament. The Bahamas will also play Senegal and Ecuador in their grouping. They were the only Caribbean country to qualify for the World Cup. ZNS Kelsey Johnson tells us more in this report.
Home field advantage was tossed out of the window on Tuesday night after the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup draws were completed. Team Bahamas is in one of the toughest groupings, having drawn top-ranked squads like Switzerland, which is ranked number 6 in the world, Senegal at 15, and Ecuador coming in at 22.
The difficult thing is that, you have 3 different teams, and with different styles of play, so you have to prepare for each one of them individually. The Swiss team we know very well because we've been playing with them. We've played them a number of times and trained with them, but a very, very strong team, But nonetheless, we have a few weeks to prepare, and we'll be ready for the kickoff on the 27th.
The FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup draws were aired live from the Atlantis Theater on Tuesday night and was viewed in more than 200 countries. The hour-long broadcast gave all a taste of the Bahamas. There was rake and scrape, and junk canoe, and the launch of the official FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup song. The Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Perry Christie, and the President of the governing body for the sport were all in attendance.
So you couldn't ask for anything better. All the performers were exceptional. The draw went flawless. And so you really couldn't, the audience was totally engaged. So you really couldn't ask for anything more or anything better.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Come play at the 50th edition of Antigua Sailing Week. Not a sailor, not a problem. Chase the race from the best beach locations and party in the ocean. On our beaches, a different one each day. Take a drink, take another. Hula, play, dance in the sand. Dance to reggae, to soca, to the beat of your own drum under the moonlight. 7 beach days and party nights. Come play at the 50th edition of Antigua Sailing Week.
April 29th to May 7th, 2017.
Are you up for the challenge?
Negril, Jamaica, one of the most beautiful spectacles in the world, off the coast of the Caribbean. The Reggae Marathon, a prestigious race with world-class competition.
It feels great. I'm from California with Reggae Runners, BGR, Black Girls Run, Sacramento, California. Great race, little hot, but I finished.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A little humid and a little hot, but it was good.
Yeah, the bomb. Ooh, show it off for me. Let's left. All right, left. Good luck.
So, DJ Nori, he is fun, professional, and a great guy.
What's up, guys? Everybody doing all right? What's going on? I just finished having a little lunch with Kibo, and we definitely was talking about you guys, and he said y'all was going to be down here, but so while I'm driving to the airport, I said, let me come over here, wish all y'all luck.
And that's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, log on to CarnaNews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and have yourselves a good night.